What I learned as a Christian who had an affair, and it changed everything. When I became a Christian, I was taught a list of things not to do. I would often think, well, I struggled with those things before, so are you telling me that just saying a prayer will stop my struggle? You know what? I learned the hard way that following rules alone will never heal the wounds in your heart, those core wounds that cause the behavior. Because behavior doesn't start with discipline, it starts in the subconscious, the heart, the mind of a man. And my heart was wounded. I learned how to wear a mask, how to smile in church, how to serve until I was burned out. I learned that my struggles were wrong and that I should keep quiet if I wanted to be accepted by God and people. I think somewhere along the way, I started believing that vulnerability was dangerous and that performance was holiness, and that if I just prayed harder, the sin would magically disappear, and so would the temptation. But that's the biggest lie I ever believed. What I really needed to know was this. There's a part of me that wants to do what God wants me to do. And there's a part of me that wants to do wrong. And the pretending the battle wasn't there only made it worse. I needed someone to teach me how to actually walk in the Spirit, how to deal with wounds underneath the behavior, how to not give in to the temptation, so I wouldn't keep running back to the desires of the flesh. And the truth, temptation isn't a sin. It's a signal, a sign that something deeper is hurting. I think the closer I got to God, the more I realized He wasn't waiting for me to perform. He wanted to heal those core wounds. And when God starts healing your heart, your desires start to change. And temptation loses its power. That's what I wish I had known going in. That's the teaching. I think that's foundational, or should be foundational to all Christians, that just saying a prayer, just saying I accept Christ, is not enough to change your behavior. Showing up every Sunday, doing everything that you're told to do, is not going to heal those core wounds that live in your subconscious mind. Those core wounds, by the way, are seeds planted from the enemy, and they live there, and he waits to trigger you. He waits for them to come alive and you to give in. And I didn't realize all of that at the time. I didn't realize any of that. But I remember after the affair that the Lord told me, He said, people look at the outside, people look at the behavior, and they judge from that point of view. But I look at the heart, and I look at the pain behind the behavior. And that's the part of you that I want to heal. That's the part that if you let me touch it, if you let me heal it, you're going to see a change in your behavior. You're going to see that you're not going to run to get validation from other people. You're going to break the cycle of once a cheater, always a cheater. You don't have to always be a cheater. Why are you cheating in the first place? That's the real question. Like, what's the pain driving the behavior? You know, and when I begin to ask those questions and allow God to really reveal to me the root cause, that it wasn't my husband, it wasn't, my overperformance, it wasn't any of those things. It was a wound, an abandonment wound. When I allowed Him to reach that and to start teaching me things, the desire to have an affair or the weakness to feel like I could fall again, all of that went away because I knew I didn't need that anymore. So it's really important to understand some foundational teachings as a Christian when we come to Christ, and not to just be thrown into a set of rules. Of course, there's boundaries. And those things that God tells us not to do, they are boundaries, but the boundaries have fallen in good places. It's not because He wants to keep good from you, it's because He wants to keep harm from you. But if we don't see God that way, if we don't know Him that way, we're not going to go to Him when we're struggling. We're not going to call out to Him when we're tempted to call that our affair partner at 3 a.m. in the morning and say, God, I want to call in, please help me. We're not going to do that because we're going to be ashamed that we even want to do it. So that's some things that I learned as a Christian who had an affair, did all the right things, broke all the rules in the end, but God brought me back, and he brought me back stronger, and he wants to do that for you, and he wants to heal your heart for good, and he wants to teach you foundational things. All you have to do is call out to him, let go of religion, let go of that kind of thinking, and just get before God, just you and him, and pour out your heart to him, and watch him change your life. If you have any questions, let me know.